Welcome aboard Flight Knowledge, where we're about to uncover the hilarious truth behind airplane seat pricing. Ever wonder why that exit row seat costs an extra $50? Meet our cast of characters, the seats themselves. First up, we have Eddie the exit row seat, the self-proclaimed king of the aircraft. Eddie's got extra legroom, premium pricing, and an ego to match. He stretches out like a beach lounger and brags about 6 to 8 extra inches of legroom. The difference between being comfy and wondering if your knees are now an abstract concept. Then there's Reggie Regular, your dependable economy seat. Reggie is the airline's reliable workhorse. Modest recline, reasonable price, and perfect for people who want to sleep, watch a movie, and not start a seat war. Reggie knows his job is to pack the cabin efficiently while making occasional friends with the armrest. And Marvin Middle, the tragicomic middle seat, forever squeezed and always apologizing. Marvin earns sympathy laughs and the occasional elbow jab. He's statistically the least loved but the most essential to packing a plane like a human game of Tetris. Eddie didn't become royalty by accident. Airlines charge premium prices for exit row seats because they offer tangible benefits. Noticeably more legroom, easier aisle access depending on configuration, and sometimes slightly wider elbow territory. For tall people, that extra 6 to 8 inches can mean the difference between stretching and performing contortionist yoga. Exit rows can also feel psychologically bigger. You can see more of the cabin and you're closer to the door to sprint off at a connecting city. Handy if you're chasing a layover or just want to disembark before a parade of slowpokes. But Eddie's royal perks also come with quirks. Sometimes no underseat storage during takeoff, sometimes a fixed armrest, sometimes a lack of recline because of the exit mechanism. And airlines love to monetize those quirks. Sticker price varies wildly, from a modest fee on a domestic hop to a hefty surcharge on a fully booked international route. But the common thread is this: space sells. Transitioning from our characters, next we'll find out why Eddie's throne comes with a job description and a background check. But here's the kicker: Eddie comes with responsibilities too. The big reason? Exit row passengers must be willing and able to assist in an evacuation. Aviation regulators and airlines require that anyone seated at a usable emergency exit can understand crew instructions and physically operate the exit. That means no infants on laps, no passengers who need a mobility device to get around, and generally no one who can't follow a short safety briefing in the language used by the crew. Those emergency doors aren't featherlight. They can weigh dozens of pounds and need to be lifted, rotated, and thrown clear of the doorway. In a real emergency, time is measured in seconds, so airlines expect exit row passengers to be able to act quickly and reliably. For that reason, gate agents and cabin crew may ask a few quick questions. Can you assist in an evacuation? Do you understand the safety demo? Will you be able to lift and move the exit if needed? If the answer is no, the seat will be reassigned. Airlines screen exit row passengers like they're hiring temporary superheroes. Rules vary by carrier, but common disqualifiers include inability to move without assistance, non-comprehension of crew instructions, being responsible for a young child, or medical conditions that limit sudden exertion. Sometimes airlines block exit rows during boarding because a parent with an infant or a non-English speaker got seated nearby. The seat then gets reassigned so safety rules are met. There's also an interesting side effect. Some passengers are willing to pay extra simply because they like the idea of being responsible. The seat feels exclusive. Airlines know this and price accordingly. Studies even show that a little psychological breathing room reduces stress hormones on longer flights, which feeds into passenger willingness to pay. So Eddie's extra fee buys space, a tiny status bump, and the privilege of being trusted with the tiny but serious job of possibly being a human lever in an emergency. Meanwhile, poor Reggie Regular represents the airline's bread and butter. Standard economy seats are priced to fill the plane while maximizing revenue per square foot. Airlines use sophisticated yield management systems. Think dynamic pricing engines that blend historical load factors, time to departure, competitor prices, weather, holidays, and even how many of you were looking at flights to Hawaii last week to squeeze the most revenue from each flight. Seat pitch, the distance from one seat back to the one in front, has shrunk over decades. In the 1970s, average pitch was around 35 inches. Today, economy commonly sits near 30 inches, and some budget carriers squeeze it even lower. That shrinkage is how airlines fit more bodies and more fares onto the cabin map. Every inch sold is added revenue, which is why Reggie's job is so important. He makes it possible to price aggressively while still offering a range of options. Exit rows are one lever, but airlines monetize space in many other ways. Preferred seating fees, extra legroom rows, Basic economy fare restrictions and bundles like seat plus bag plus snack let airlines segment customers. An exit row might be priced anywhere from a small add-on to an amount that rivals upgraded economy, depending on flight length and demand. On a short flight, eddies might be $10 to $20. On a long transcontinental run, it could be $50 to $150. Dynamic pricing means those numbers move as the flight fills or as competitor inventory changes. Marvin Middle's sad economics are a study in consumer behavior. Middle seats are usually the last to be chosen and the first to be discounted. Airlines sometimes offer them as cheap add-ons in promo bundles or try experiments to make them less painful. Slightly wider cushions, small incentives like free snacks or flexible rebooking. Some carriers trial buy up to window or pay to block the middle options. Others use middle seats as a yield buffer. If you want a guaranteed aisle or window, pay extra. Otherwise, congratulations, you get Marvin. Airlines also factor in ancillaries. Charging for checked bags, priority boarding, and seat reservation is often more profitable per passenger than the base fare. That's why the seat map at booking looks like a video game. Bright colors, tempting upgrades, and the ever-present promise of extra comfort for a fee. Passengers who book late, are tall, or value personal space often pay those premiums, and carriers happily optimize for that willingness to spend. But here's where it gets really interesting. The psychology of seat selection reveals human quirks that airlines exploit and travelers can exploit back. Window seats satisfy our need for territory and a view. People like having a wall to lean on and a piece of the world that's just theirs. Aisle seats appeal to our desire for freedom. Bathroom breaks, stretch breaks, and easy exits feel important. Exit rows combine both status, space, and sometimes the illusion of being slightly more important than your neighbor. Airlines use pricing not just to capture extra revenue, but to nudge behavior. Start exit rows at a modest fee and raise them as the flight nears capacity? That pressures fence sitters to commit. Offer preferred blocks near the front for a premium? That attracts business travelers and the impatient. The interplay between perceived value, willingness to pay, and real physical benefit is a textbook example of behavioral economics in motion. So how do you decide? Quick checklist. Length of flight? Exit row more valuable on long hauls. Your height? Tall folks benefit most. Whether you can comply with safety rules. No kids on laps, be able to assist. And what you value most. Legroom, disembark speed, or saving a few bucks. If you're flying an hour, maybe skip Eddie. If you're on a 7-hour transcontinental slog and hate your knees, treat yourself. At the end of the day, Eddie, Reggie, and Marvin are all doing their jobs in the great theater of travel. Eddie sells space and responsibility. Reggie keeps the engines of revenue turning, and Marvin reminds us that every plane is a balance of comfort, cost, and clever pricing. Next time you're booking, laugh a little, learn a little, and decide what trade-offs fit your trip. Subscribe to Flight Knowledge for more goofy but useful airline secrets. And may your next seat be exactly what you need to survive the snacks and the tiny bathrooms with dignity intact.